Hello students, in this lesson we're going to take a story problem. We're going to break it down and use an equation in the slope-intercept form to graph the line. And you can see on our page we have a graph. This is actually just the first coordinate of a graph. We have y-axis over here and the x-axis down below. And we're going to look at this story problem and then write the equation and plot the line. So suppose that a bike rents for a beginning rate of $4 plus it rents for $2 an hour. We know from other story problems that when we look at a beginning rate, that is the rate at which we began, which would be considered as the y-intercept. So we will look at where is a positive 4 on the y-axis. So it's going to be right here. I'm going to put a dot right there. Okay. What we can also do is fill in the equation for what the y-intercept would be, plus $4, because that's where we're going to begin. That's where this line would be crossing on the y-axis. Now it says that we're going to, in addition, rent the bike for $2 per hour. So that's a rate of $2 every hour, or $2 for every X hours. We don't know how many hours we're going to rent, but for every hour it would be, that would be the rate that we would be charged. 1 hour, $2. 2 hours, $2. So we know in terms of our rate that we're going to say it is 2. And we know that 2, in order to come up with our slope, is also 2 over 1. And we're going to add x. So you see now we have our slope-intercept equation. And we can go ahead and graph that then, right? So we started at 4. We already put that down. And our rate is a slope of 2 over 1. So we rise 2. See, I always start with my cursor right on the dot. And I go up to 1, 2, and I go over 1. Put a dot. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 and over 1. And I know you have rulers. I'm not able to use a ruler, but we would then draw a line which would show the rate going up. Okay? So we did it. We read the story problem, determined the y-intercept, determined the rate. We wrote the formula, and we plotted the points along the grid, and we drew a line. So great job on that one. Students, we're going to take a look at another story problem, and let's see what the slope-intercept form equation and line looks like on this one. A paper airplane was launched at a starting height of 13 feet, and it descended at a rate of 3 feet per second. So remember on the other problem, the starting location was the point on the y-axis that we used as the y-intercept. What's the starting point for where this plane took off? It says 13. 13. So we can go to the y-axis and we can put a dot right there where it says 13. And you know, this is what we did last time. We know that the y-intercept, which is b, is 13. So we went ahead and wrote that down. Okay. Now what is the rate this time? We see the rate is 3 feet per second, but is that plane floating up or down? It says descended. So we know the rate is going to be negative. It's going to go down over a period of time. In this case, it's going to go down by seconds. And it says that it's 3 feet per second. So really, we're going to say -3. And if we write it in a fraction, that's going to be -3 over 1. With the formula, we're going to add x, because every second it's going to go down 3 feet. So let's go ahead and plot these points then. When we start at 13, it says we're going to go down 3. Remember, rise over run. Down 3, -3. 1, 2, 3, and a positive 1. There's a point right there. 1, 2, 3 over 1. See the plane falling to the ground. 1, 2, 3 over 1. We don't have to keep going. We know where it's going. And with your ruler, you want to draw a line connecting the dots. You can see I don't have a ruler. My line's crooked. But the bottom line is we took a story problem. We looked at the y-intercept and the rate. We wrote out an equation. We plotted the points and we drew a line. That's what we're asking you to do.